The man bends down slowly, skimming the trash from the water. He filled his hands with water, and drank it anxiously. The man came to the hospital kitchen, and hastily searched for food. He found potatoes on the ground. The man secretly lit a fire, to cook something to fill his stomach. The next day, the Germans cleaned up the bodies in the streets. After completing their mission, soldiers enjoyed their meal. The man could only watch. He gulped. The Germans began to burn everything. They're leaving the city. Luckily, the man was quick to dodge the flames. He didn't get burned by the flames. He opened the window and jumped out, not caring about his injured left foot. He climbed the wall again. The man climbed back into the Jewish quarter. He looked around for food. The man found a bottle of canned food, but just as he was about to open it, he realizes it's not safe here. The man climbed up to the attic in pain. He put the ladder away, before he dared to enjoy his meal. Unfortunately, there was no tool to open the jar. The man risked everything to find the tool. Finally he found it in the fireplace. The man cracked the jar open, but he accidentally knocked the can to the floor. The juice from the can is pouring out. The German officer is leaning on the stairs. The man looks at the officer. He doesn't dare make a sound. The officer asks the man his occupation. The man answers the question carefully. The officer didn't shoot. When he learned that the man was a pianist, the officer was very excited. He asked the man to play a piano piece. The man obliged the officer. He played the piano for the officer, but the officer asked the man where he lived. The man was silent. The officer guessed the man's Jewish identity. The man panicked. The officer asks the man to come to his place. The man is watched by the officer. He climbs up to the attic. The man is stunned and takes the can. The officer does not arrest the man. He chose to leave. From that day on, the officer brought the man food every day. When confronted with the man's questions, the officer confessed that the war would be over in 2 weeks. The man looked at the food in his arms. He opens the paper. Inside is a loaf of bread and a packet of jam. He takes a piece and puts it in his mouth. He closes his eyes, and enjoys the food. The man also realizes that the officer has brought him a can opener. When he saw the officer again, he brought more food. Because the Germans were about to lose the war, they were planning to retreat. The officer was worried about the man's health. He took off his coat and gave it to the man. When they parted, the man told the officer his name, and the officer promised to come to his recital. At the end of the Second World War, the international situation was turned upside down. The Jews were rescued, and the German soldiers were imprisoned. As Jewish musicians complained about the behavior of the Germans, a man stepped forward, the same officer who had rescued the men. He begged the musician to find the man, to get the man to help him, but by the time the man arrived, the camp was empty.